The autocorrect feature can be found by going to Tools and Autocorrect Options. In the Autocorrect dialog box, you have 3 tabs. The first one is for Smart Tags, and we'll talk about that in another tutorial. Another is for Auto Format as you type. This is where you can turn on and off certain options, such as automatic layout for inserted objects or auto-fitting title text to a placeholder. Autocorrect tab allows you to turn on and off things like capitalizing the days of the week or replacing text as you type when you make a mistake. Replacing text as you type allows Office to go in and change the word the when you've typed it HTE to THE without even asking you whether or not it should. It just assumes that you've made a keying error and you want it to do that. You can type in other words that you misspell often as well and have it replace it. For instance, when I type October, I often type OTCOVER. So I could have Microsoft automatically replace that with OCTOVER. Of course, I'm going to want to make this a capital O so that it recognizes exactly the same thing. And then I can click Add. Now if I make that mistake, it will automatically correct it for me without underlining it and having me run the spell checker to do so. If I ever want to delete an autocorrect option, I can do that by selecting the option and then clicking on Delete, and the option will no longer be available. I can also use the autocorrect option to put in words that I would use a lot and make a shortcut for them, such as I can replace AL with atomic learning. I'll add that. And now that is down in my autocorrect features. Let's click OK and then go up here and type AL and hit Enter. It automatically replaces AL with atomic learning. When you use a PowerPoint presentation design template, it automatically decides what your fonts are going to look like. But you can go ahead and change those for an individual slide or for the entire presentation. Let's just take a look at an individual slide. I would like to be able to change the format for my fonts. I'm going to select my title, and then using the formatting toolbar, I can change to a different font type. I can change the size. I can decide whether or not I want it bold or italic. I can change whether the alignment is going to be left, centered, or right. And I can also increase the font just a little bit at a time if I wanted to by pressing this button. I'm going to undo all of those actions. And this time I'm going to change the font, but I'm going to use the Format Font dialog box. This is kind of like one-stop shopping in a dialog box, but it does give us a few extra things the toolbar didn't. We can once again choose a kind of font. We can choose whether or not we want bold or italic, or bold italic is one choice here. We can choose a font size, but we can also choose shadow or emboss, and I can change the color. Once I'm done, I can click OK. Now you can change the color on the toolbar as well, but you cannot choose emboss. And now I have a new font. So whether you want to change it using the toolbar or using the dialog box here, you can make any sort of changes you want to. Once you have gone through and made numerous changes to your font, you may want to just copy that to one of your other slides or all of your other slides. Rather than going to a new slide and having to select your title and then going through and applying the same attributes that you just changed on the previous slide, you can go to the slide that you've changed, select the text, and click on the Format Painter. When you click on the Format Painter, it allows you to paint this format to any other text that you choose. If you click it once, you can apply once. If you double-click it, it will let you apply until you go up and release the button. I've double-clicked my button, and I'm going to go to the next slide and drag across my text and format it the way that the previous slide was. Notice that my I-beam has a little brush across it, and so when I paint on my text, it's telling me that I'm going to paint a format. I painted it there. I'll go to the next slide. I still have my I-beam with my brush, and I can paint across the next one. Take a look at that. And then paint across the next one, and so on. So I can continue to do that until I go up and release the Format Painter, and then my I-beam returns to There are ways of aligning the text within a text box. The most obvious way is to select your text box and then choose to center, left align, or right align your text. If I center align the text, it will only center align the text that I have my cursor in. If I want to center align all of my text, I need to click on the box, changing the way that the outside perimeter looks into more of a dotted rather than a lined shape. Then it will center align all of the text that is in the box rather than one line at a time, or it will right align it or left align it. If I want to align my text from top to bottom rather than from left to right, I'll need to go to Format and then to Placeholder. On the Text Box tab, I can choose the text anchor point. If I choose Middle and then preview it, you'll see that my text now is centered in the middle of my text box from top to bottom. Going back, I can also change the left, right, top, and bottom margins as well internally. And I can choose whether I want to use word wrap in the auto shape, resize it to fit the text, or rotate the text within the auto shape by 90 degrees. If we rotate the text and preview that, you'll see that the text is now rotated 90 degrees in the box. Now, there may be times when you'll find that this is a necessary way for you to have your text in a slide. Lastly, I'll change the left margin to a 1/2 inch and then click OK. And you'll see that I now have a greater space in my text box here, and that my words have wrapped around and made several lines. So there are many things that you can do to change the alignment in your text. You can set tabs on your slide in the placeholder boxes. In order to set a tab, you need to be able to see your ruler. To show your ruler, go to View and then Ruler. Your ruler will show both horizontally and vertically. Once your ruler is up, you'll see that you have a box here with different kinds of tabs. We have several to choose from. The first is a left align, the second is a center align, the third is a right align, and the fourth is a decimal point alignment for using things like dollar amounts. We're going to just make a left align tab and set that on our ruler at 1 inch. So we'll show that in our box, and then we'll go to the 1 inch mark on the ruler and click with our pointer at the bottom of the ruler. You'll see that the L, or left alignment mark, shows up there at the 1 inch point. I can then, with my cursor in front of my text, hit my tab button, and my text will tab to the left tab. To remove a tab, all I'm going to do is click on the tab and then drag it down until it's gone.